and welcome back to the Reapers. So today we've got the tactical debrief of the latest mission that was on Saturday, I guess, Sunday. It was a 30-man strong PvP, blue versus red. Red had slightly more number of players, but that was required in the mission briefing, essentially. So the mission was, we've got a bunch of blue ground units here and a blue base with aeroplanes there. And their mission was to push through all of these hostile red units and any cap, and to take this base here. Which they just did by the skin of their teeth in the end. And just looking at this tac view setup, we haven't got any buildings or towns or anything like that, so I don't think there's much point of following the ground units as such. But what the ground units did in a nutshell was Shifty was in control of all of them. He merged them essentially into one. He smashed through these units here first of all, then merged all of his men around this town here, I remember. So we had all of his M1s and M2s and various other SA, air attack, air defense units and stuff like that, ground units, merged them here, and then they did one big column charge along the coast here, into the town here, into the airport, and they finally managed to get tanks onto the runway. And I think Reds, their information was lacking, and they couldn't see any of that actually happening on their radar, and so that's how they got through. But it was a great fight. So we'll mainly be following the aircraft and the aircraft engagements. That's what I'm qualified to talk about. So we will send it on its way. I wasn't flying. I was viewing and commentating and swearing at people. And I'm quite glad, really, if we turn on the... where is it? Here. So that shows... the SAM lethal ranges, and you can see every inch of battle space was absolutely dominated by SAMs, including that massive hemisphere up there, which is the what's that, the SA-10 S300 Grumble. So the entire map was dominated by SA-6s, S300, SA-9s and whatnot. And that would have made it a really hard map to fly around on, because you're constantly dodging SAMs and you don't really get much chance to do some decent flying, which, as I suspect we'll see, is what took most planes down, just didn't allow them to maneuver properly, etc. But anyway, let's get underway. I'm going to skip to the first bit of combat. Stand by. Okay, so loads of ground units have moved up. They're doing their various fights, but interestingly for us, we've got Hammer. Hammer was a couple of frogfoots here, and those are what are going to do the damage. What I said earlier was that the SAMs are what's stopping the teams really doing a lot of damage in terms of air support. So these two here are critical for blues, and they were restricted airframes, so there was only 3 or 4, I think, of these frogfoots actually available on the blue side. So it's critical that they were protected at all costs, and you can see, I think these guys were Sabre here, Joker's F-15s, 3 F-15s, to protect these guys. So these guys were effectively here to sacrifice themselves to protect these all-important Su-25 airframes, which would be destroying the Grumble and the SA-6s and stuff like that. So they're doing a good tactic. What they're doing by the looks of it is they're sending Hammer and Sabre out to sea, which is undefended airspace in terms of SAM. So these guys can loiter out here, and they've got like 40-50 mile range on some of these Kilo Hotel anti-SAM missiles, and so they can just pop SAM sites from out here. Wow, SA-6 is going out already. We'll rewind this again just to have a look at what's going on there, but just to note also, they've got these guys, I think they were Dagger, a cap flight that was splintering out to this over the mountains, where again it's free of SAMs, and they were going to come in from this side and not really achieve anything but be a distractionary force. So these guys here, Dagger, were to be back here distracting red forces here to help these guys out on the sea, to split the red forces. Right, anyway, let's just scroll back slightly and see what happened here. Right, so we've got Mirage Odge, I don't really know Odge, coming in. Oh, and another good thing is to say, this is a weekend flight, so if essentially anyone's allowed to come and join us. We get all the kind of rookies coming in, so we get lots of me shouting, but importantly we get to see the skillful new guys, and this is how we hire our new guys and spot our talent. One guy that showed out was this guy, Hatsu here. A very good guy. I don't think he has the time to join the Grim Reapers full team, but it's nice having him here on the weekend anyway. He's very good in this plane. Now let's have a quick look where the SAM sites are. Let's run that through. So this Mirage Odge has just jumped out of his safety net, and he's coming on an intercept. He was intercepting these guys, then he decided to go and intercept these guys. I I think as a new guy, I imagine he's going to run straight into that 20-mile missile. And none of these are really kill shots. They're all just warning shots, 15 miles plus from the F-15s. Far too many. I don't know why you need 4 or 5 missiles in the air to kill one guy, but there is, and he just flew straight into it. Okay, we're not going to analyse that because he obviously doesn't know air evasion or anything. Fortinero. Now this is a different matter. Fortinero had a mixed night in his flanker. He's usually deadly, but he had a bit of a mixed night this night. So there's missiles out. I'll say it's a very difficult job what these F-15s is doing here, which is basically loitering and protecting these guys. It's a really nasty job, and I hate doing it. It's very easy to get shot down. When you're in an F-15, you want to be using the benefits that the F-15 gives you in combat, i.e. it wants to go fast. It's designed to go fast. It's designed to charge in, fire a missile and charge out. That's all it was ever designed to do, really. Loitering means you can't do that. To loiter, you've got to basically sit and essentially spin around slowly in a circle, saving fuel while looking over these guys, and that's really hard to do, especially so close to the hostiles. You can see these guys, they're kind of doing their job. They're just loitering, spinning around in circles, a little bit too close to the hostiles for my liking. They're kind of 15 miles away from the SAM range. I would have liked to, if it was me, I would have liked to have them further out here. That gives me a lot more visual range towards the hostile SAM net before hostiles can start shooting missiles. But they're probably only 10 miles from Fortinero. It's a little bit of a dangerous thing to do, which is why I hate doing it so much. Basically using your plane to not how it's been designed. But they were under orders, so they had no choice. Well, we've got a missile coming in. So Fortinero, he's charging into this huge net of F-15s. Very dangerous thing to do. But I think he realises that they are just orbiting, and charging into an orbiting mass, you can cause a lot of chaos. I think that's what it's going to try and do. So this is going to be a Joker versus Fortinero. Let me set that up. Okay, so we've got Joker versus Fortinero. Fortinero's energy highs, coming in for the shots, doing everything right. Average Angels 12. Joker is tactically in an awful situation. 300 knots is just loitering. Energy very low. Altitude very low. It's hard for this F-15 to win this one-on-one right here. The flanker's got everything going for it. 9 miles and go. ER missile's going. I'm not sure what the ER is. No, it looks like the ER is actually going for this guy over here. So Fortinero doesn't realise that Joker's coming in. Okay, I don't know what the missile was going for. It's not going to hit anyone, obviously. Fortinero is now squarely on Joker, so that is 6 miles away from each other. So they're both down low now. Angels 6, Angels 2, essentially nearly on the deck. So kill range for either of these missiles. High energy is kind of about 6 miles, so they fired their missiles at about the right range, which is good. Joker's got the warning sign from Fortinero's ER missile here. He's going to do a big pull, although his energy low, so he's going to struggle really. And his countermeasures out. Fortinero is energy high. He's going to have a better time beating this missile here, which is still getting up to speed. Let's see that through. They're both essentially dangerous missiles still. Fortinero's still got to do work to get rid of this. I don't think he's done enough. That's an energy high missile. It's still accelerating essentially, and Fortinero's done he's done a twist and a slight reverse, but he's not put any big G's in there or any big direction changes. Joker on the other hand has done it like it's supposed to. A big G turn, although he's going too slow, but he couldn't help that. He's got his countermeasures out, but he's done a nice reverse and direction change. He has that luxury because he can call these guys in now to defend him. Whereas Fortinero, I don't think, has done enough, but let's see. He does pull off some amazing feats sometimes. Yeah. So that was analysed correctly. You can see Fortinero essentially went straight into the missile. A small roll, no big G change, no big direction change within lethal range of 6 miles. So Fortinero's got to take that on the chin. Joker did enough to fool that missile, so that was good enough. And that's that over. This guy's flaring. I think he got the warning from this missile here, so Monty thought the missile was after him, so fair enough. He did well as well. He put some direction changes in there. Still way too slow, but there you go. And that's that fight over. Let's see what's going on tactically. Hammer is still heading out for their shot. I don't think anything else is happening. Daggers are on their way. I know that they're going low. Okay, so they're going on the deck through the valleys by the looks of it. So they want to do that to surprise the hostile. I don't know why, because these guys are meant to be a distraction force. If that was me, I'll be up here. Angels 20, flares out, balls out, gear out, everything I could do to bloody get a radar on me so they could see me coming. But anyway, that's their choice. That's what they're doing. We've had a missile from Warren. No idea what that was all about. It was like a 30-mile shot, so let's go and have a look at that. Wow, now that was a shot. Look at that. So Warren's put a shot out, 30, 40 miles. No idea why. I get the feeling these guys, their orders were to stay within their SAM net and just do long bomb shots. That's pretty what that is. And I despise long bombs. I think they're a huge waste of everything, basically. But they can do their job in scaring people off, because even now that missile probably would have gone active pretty much now, and that will be warning these fighters here that it's coming, and these guys don't know really how far away that missile is. So it can have some kind of diversionary tactical uses, long bombs. So let's scrub that off. I get the feeling all these fighters here, red's going to stay within their safety boundaries, which is a good idea, because SAMs are bloody good things to have on your side. We've just had an aim off by someone. King decided to fire a long bomb. So you've had King, he's found this guy here. I'm surprised he can get a lock at that range. He must be 20 plus miles. He's fired a shot in. Completely pointless shot, obviously. Doesn't have anything to gain as far as I'm aware, apart from to scare this guy, but he's already scared. He's already in a SAM net. He's already defensive. There doesn't seem any point of that's just a waste of a missile, so we're not going to follow that. And these guys here, the blue guys, they're staying within their SAM net well. Like I said, moving down here slow and low. An F-15 hates doing that. It's a very bad way to use an F-15, but they haven't really got much choice, so I guess they've been ordered to stay down low. But they're staying within their SAM net well. It's very easy, because remember, these fighters can't see these lovely graphics. They don't know any at all where these SAM sites are. They get a rough warning on their RWR, like direction-wise, but other than that, they have no idea. So they're doing well. Joker's doing well and keeping his men in safety here, because they could easily run into this red and just get shot down willy-nilly. So they're doing that well. Let's carry on. Okay, events are occurring now. Hatsu's hammer are now found the Grumble site, I think, and they're heading in for their shot. They're still 50-60 miles away, but they're going in. And Joker's guys I've got the call, and they're on the way to protect them. So they're just skirting right on the outskirts of this red SAM site, which is just far enough away, and they're low enough and just fast enough to be safe. Joker's turning into a SAM site, which is a bit dangerous now, because I guess okay, right. So Blue GCI has seen these two, Tender and Udarosa, coming to intercept the 25s. The 25s are all valuable, so Joker is going in for the intercept. Personally, I wouldn't have been. It's just too far in. I would have liked myself to be loitering right around here, out of this danger zone, so I could suck these red in and attack from this angle. But again, these guys didn't have the lovely graphics that I have, so it's much more difficult for them to make the decision. They've got some sort of warning, maybe a SAM. I imagine one of these probably that SA6 has got a lock on them, so they're thinking, okay, yep, we can't fly any further in, which is correct. We're going to head out. King is going for a bit of a suicide run. I get the feeling he's about to get shot down. Okay, let's scroll that forward a bit. Okay, King's got the order. He was almost in position to take the shot, but he's got a lock from this SA6 site, I imagine, and he's correctly turned out. You can't dice with an SA6, especially when you've got no cover to hide behind. So they're going out here, which is good, because then they can turn in again, back out here, and then intercept these guys. These guys are only deadly once they get kind of 10 miles away from these 25s. So they've got time in the bag. I'm aware there's a fight going on over here. We'll maybe rewind that in a minute. Let's scroll forward. Oh, now look at that. For some reason, Tender and Udarosa have given up on the 25s, which is a really bad move. Everything they should be doing is shooting down the dangerous players, and the dangerous players are these guys, which are a lovely little formation, by the way. They're doing their job perfectly, these 25s. Great to see that. So these guys have essentially bottled it. I don't know why. I guess they got a dodgy order from their GCI or something. So, we have missiles out. So, the Joker has fired a missile. That's 15 to 20 mile shot. It's just a posturing shot. It's clearly not going to kill anything. Not the kind of thing I like to do, but let's see if it has any useful effect. I mean, on the plus side, it seems to have sent these guys cold. The problem with doing that is, if you send them cold, they're just going to fly away and drag you into their SAMs. So a posturing shot in this kind of circumstance doesn't seem much use. We've got King, we've got a shot. Why don't we go back and analyse that a little? Okay, right, so we've got King firing on a beaming tender. King is energy average, Angel's relatively low. Tender is Angels on the deck essentially, and flanking. So to be able to make that a kill shot down here, that's a 4 mile shot with an AMRAAM. So we're at 10 miles, and if you want to know how I get these figures, then we essentially it all derives from knowing that on a Angels 20 plus an Angels 20 target, hot and high energy, a kill shot for a AIM 120 is 10 miles. Interpolating that down to a hot high speed low level engagement, that's about 6.5 miles, and from that you can interpolate when a hostile is cold, when a hostile is flanking at any altitude, and regards to the altitude, what you do is you get the average between the two guys. So this guy's at Angels 3, this guy's at Angels 6, so you get the average is what, 4.5 or something, and bearing in mind the aspect, you can then calculate in your head any kill range of essentially any missile, and that's what you will be doing when you're flying. It will become muscle memory after a while, you won't even think about it. So King's put a 10 mile shot in here. He knows he can't kill from a 10 mile shot at this low, at this aspect, so why is he doing it? Well, I like to think that he's probably doing it because he's not really trying to kill these guys. Essentially his only job is to sacrifice himself to keep these guys alive. So what he's trying to do, I imagine, is to shepherd these two away from these guys. So just pummel long-range missiles in, and that's not a bad idea. If he wanted to go in for his 4 mile shot, he would easily get shot down by the SA-6. So pummeling long-range missiles in this case is actually absolutely fine. It's going to scare these red fighters out here away from the strike package, so that's all cool. Let's see that go through. So Antenda and Udorosa have got the warning. They are going cold. They're abandoning their mission of taking the strike package on. King should get out here because he's going to get the radar, and he has. Look, he's got a lock from probably Mr. SA-6 or something. Get out, stay safe. It's all good flying so far from the Blues. These guys are having none of it. They've decided that they've beaten this missile at some point, which they have indeed, and now Udorosa wants blood. Joker has done a lovely covering missile here. So you see, you got these guys overlapping. So King would have said, right, Joker, I'm heading cold now, I'm getting too close. Joker would have said, right, okay, this is on their private channels, we wouldn't have got to hear this. Joker would have said, right, I'm going to cover you on the overlap, I'm coming in, missiles covering. This keeps King completely safe so that he can go away and then turn around back in when he's ready. You got a missile here. This is clearly not a kill missile. This is, again, it's a warning missile to, again, send this guy defensive, sending cold, get him off King's ass. So it's all good so far. And we've got Monty doing the same thing. He just shot it into the ground. It's just a noob mistake there, but we'll get those on Saturdays. And Joker's done his job. He's sent Udorosa cold. Now he doesn't need to chase him in. There's nothing to be achieved now by chasing him in and even shooting him down. His job is to just keep these guys busy. So don't... And Joker is a kid, obviously, so he does get a little excited, and I think that's what we're about to see here that may lead to his downfall. So he's well in SAM range now. He's in massive danger. But he wants to go in there. He wants his dogfight. So let's analyse that. So, what have we got here? We've got a missile out from Joker. So now he's not tactical anymore. These guys are still tactical. Joker's not tactical. Joker has target fixation. He wants to kill. So everything he fires now is going to be kill shots, essentially. So he's firing 8.4 miles against... a guy who's up Angels 20. He is down on the deck, essentially Angels 4. His energy low. There's no reason at all why he should be taking a shot energy low, and I'm awfully worried he's still got his fuel tanks on, which is bad. So he set himself up incredibly badly for a shot. He's low, which means thick air, which means his missile's got a very bad chance. He's energy low, i.e. he's low speed, so he's giving his missile an awful lot of work to do. So let's work that way in our quick calculation of kill shot distance. So we've got an average of about Angels 11, 2 hot targets, 1 energy high, 1 energy low. So if we do our maths, that's a kill shot of 8, and then minus the energy low is about 7. It's about 7 mile kill, something like that. Maybe a little less because he's speed low, 6 to 7. So he's not far off. He's maybe a mile too long. What we'll probably find is a mile too long to get a kill shot. Let's run that through. Easier said when done. Obviously, in the heat of the moment, it's very hard to do those calculations. Let's say Tender's got the warning. No, he hasn't. He's bottled it. Oh, he's left it too long. Let's go and look at that. So Tender got the warning. You can see when he got the warning. When he started panicking, he was going along there, and there. You see him started to wobble there. That's him. That's indecisiveness on the stick. He's getting information probably from a GCI, and then suddenly he gets that warning. This missile's gone purple. So as soon as you get that missile, it should be bank, pull, 9G pull, and countermeasures out, and that's an easy defeat. But he's fettled. He's flying towards this. He's realised, right, here's my training. It tells me to turn. A little bit late. He a bit late, but he did get it in the end. And that missile, just like we said, turned out to be about the second half too early. So it was a wasted missile. It sent him cold, but sending him cold is pointless because it's covered in SAM. So Joker's got the wrong tactics here. On the plus side, Joker has been clever. He realised, okay, I'm being stupid now. I'm running in. I'm going to get shot down. I've got a 10-minute wait if I get shot down to get in a new plane. I'm not going to sacrifice myself anymore. So he's turned around, and rightly so. He's fired one more missile out, which is fair enough. There's no harm in getting that last shot off. I personally wouldn't do it. I'd find it a bit of a waste. This is a pitbull missile, so it's got its own radar guided, so it can fly without the mothership. So this is an okay use of that missile. Tender should be able to dodge it. He should realise, okay, I'm in trouble. High bank right, burners on, and then get out of his energy high. Should be okay. This missile still on the burn. It was fired from a slow drive. Now look at that difference there. You often see these AIM-9s on rocket burn up to about 2,000 plus knots, but because Joker was so low and he was just kind of poncing about here at 300 knots, which is not the kind of place you want to be firing a missile 300 knots, it never got above kind of 1,400 knots. It shows, and because it's down low as well, obviously you got thick air. So this missile never really had a chance to do anything. It was just when you're firing a missile, especially in DCS, because the missile ranges are lowered purposefully to force guys into fight. You really got to think about your energy. You're going to fire a missile, bung it up to 600 knots. You're playing before firing. Don't sing it down 200 knots unless you're real close, and you know you can kill them. But tactically, it's just a bad thing to do. And some people complain about these, the fact that the ranges have been reduced on the missile in DCS. I actually like it. It really makes you reinforce your discipline that you have to get energy in the shot. It makes it exaggerates everything a bit from what you have to do in the aircraft to get a long shot. I think that's a great thing. As you see, a couple of wasted missiles, just like we predicted, but hey, it kept him busy at the end of the day. Joker never seemed to really put himself in real danger, and he got out in the end, so he's fine. So they do a lovely little overlap here. One guy in, one guy out, one guy in, one guy out. That's called a chainsaw, or rolling chainsaw, or an overlap. So when one guy is pulling away, another is always heading in. That way you're completely covered. Both planes are completely safe. No one can get shot that way by hostiles, and that's a great thing to see. So that's really good. Events. Well, let's just see if anything else. Actually, so what happened over here? I don't suppose we really need to see it as such, but what happened was these guys popped in. They decided that they were close enough. Oh, we better go. Oh, there they are. There are those missiles. Now they were going for that SAM site, and they're going to reach that SAM site for the looks of it. A small error because they're actually going for the Grumble site, which is the SA-10, which is the S-300, which is that site there. So they were slightly off in their shooting. They shot this SA-6 site instead, which wasn't as tactically as good. It's the S-300 Grumble they want, because the Grumble was the one with the large protection area. They got close enough, then Warren came out to shoot them. Hugely fast energies chasing them away. These guys correctly, they didn't do anything stupid, they got their missiles away, and then they turned away, full power, and out they go. Great. Very hard for this F-15, even with all its speed, to catch them up when they've got a head start and are heading away. So far, great flying from the Blues. That missile is going to go and kill that SA-6, so that's great tactics all round. Now, we've been missing some fighting from these blue guys, so we're just going to... this is Dagger. This is the guys that were just meant to be upsetting. So I'm just running that through to see what happens. So they were just here. They're in the mountains. I still don't understand why they were hiding themselves in the mountains. Didn't seem to be much use of that, but anyway, they did. They popped out right above an SA9. A bit dangerous. No SA9's fired. And then they're here. It's an interesting tactic that they came... I can't understand why they came in low and now they're capping low. Their job was to get attention and upset, you know, mirages. I would have been up here, flying in, Angels 20, missiles blaring, you know, missile alarms going off, and up high. You can get some long bomb shots in without getting too far into the same area. Anyway, how they had their own plan, which is to go down and kind of hide. They were doing more of like a strike package type flying, which is a bit weird. But anyway, let's carry on that. And now they're flying dangerously low to an SA9, which can be lethal if you get close. Around the edge there you got Static. Static was going in a Vigan, incredibly useful against SAMs like this. It's one of the only planes that can get through live SAMs. She's going to go all the way along this mountain range and try and take out the Grumble. We'll turn that to be a suicide mission, but it's alright, it's worth a go. So finally, Dagger have made it in a little bit late. They should have been here kind of 5 minutes earlier, pecking away at these guys. It's alright, the strike package got through in the end. Anything going on? So you got a missile, you got an ET coming out for a squirrel. Personally, I don't see the point of an ET. An ET is a kill missile, so it goes in. It's essentially non-detectable from the hostile. People like to fire it after another type of missile to go in as a kill missile. So it's not really doing anything. He was not going to kill this guy, 15 miles away. He's not even giving him a warning. So he should have sent an ER in, given this guy a nice warning, shaking him up. That would have been a better job. So anyway, you can see it through. I'm sure it's not going to kill anything. Yeah, it's dead. It's down. So when you're firing down low, missiles have a much less range. This is why we interpolate down to kind of 6 mile kill range if you're high energy and hot. So he would have had to be right on that guy's ass to kill him with the missile down there. So they're just going to race track out here, I imagine. Try not to get shot by SAMs. Now, you see they're operating well within the kill range of the SA6, but it's because they're low that they can stay alive, essentially. They're all kind of a few hundred feet off the ground. And that makes it very hard for SA6 to get a radar lock on these guys, because they're going to be beaming, they're going to be moving, and they're going to be low, get a clutter in between trees, terrain undulation, stuff like that. And also to get the kill, a missile as well, a SAM missile like this isn't very effective low, can't travel very far, very fast. So these guys are relatively safe. Stuff's happening here that we haven't seen before. So these guys are doing their racetrack. Doing their chainsaw. Now we see a mistake in the chainsaw. Look at that, and Reds are capitalised on it. So the idea. I just realised we're playing this through really slow. Sorry about that. So the idea of a chainsaw is you always got one guy coming in and covering the other guy, and then they swap roles. So one guy's always covering the other guy. The chainsaw breaks down when both guys are heading in the same direction. And at this point, they've mistimed what they're doing. King's going faster than Joker, so it's all a bit mistimed. And they are now both heading cold. So the chainsaw is broken down. They are now very susceptible to attack. These guys have realised that. They've either GCI's told them, or through their own senses, they've realised these guys are going cold, and they have to go cold at some point because they're going around in a big circle and they're not chainsawing at the moment. Now's the time to attack. So, an energy high mirage comes in on the deck, Angels 3, spots the temporary chink in the armour, and is going to do damage. So this is a great... Joker's turning back in for his part of the chainsaw, but it's too late because there's been that half a minute where no one's been on the front, the aggressive side of the chainsaw, and that 30 seconds has allowed this guy to get into danger area, and it's too late. I can see this being the downfall of Joker now. So it's tiny tactical disadvantage error there that led to that. So let's get Udarosa. Okay, so that's great to see from Udarosa, who's a very experienced guy, and he's now already pretty much in the kill shot area. The Mirage missiles are slightly less than the 15 range, but they still work on the basic same principle. So you've got 6 miles here, one high energy guy on the deck, one low energy guy on the deck. So let's do that interpolation. It's about 5 to 5.5-ish miles for a kill shot, roughly. Tiny bit less because it's a Mirage. So let's see that kind of Fox 1 shot take Joker down. Now you see Joker's turning on Vector, but as well as turning on Vector, you've got to get this guy locked up. And see him get him locked up. At 4 miles, that's very difficult to do with a radar. Radar has a very skinny beam. So to find this guy, he's probably going to have better luck finding him visually, than anything else. So he's put himself in a bit of trouble by that small mistake earlier, and this should be Udarosa's game. 3 miles. Uderosa. I see these experienced guys do this. They like to get really, really dangerously close before firing their missiles, and their Super 530s aren't that bad. A 4-5 mile shot would have been an easy, kill, but they like to get real super close, see the whites of their eyes to make sure of the kill. Not my way of doing it, but that's how they do it. And Joker never stood a chance. Look at that. He's low. He's concentrating on conserving fuel, doing everything an F-15 is bad at. An F-15 wants to go fast. It wants to go high. It doesn't want to be limping around, like a Cessna, low speed, low altitude. And to get that energy back into an F-15 is really difficult. So Joker's put himself in a position where it's really hard to do anything if a missile comes out. Here it comes out. 2 miles. What can he do? Absolutely nothing. He's fired an aim. He's seen tender and he's fired a Fox at tender. It's another useless shot. It's like 15 miles. But he's a dead man. He seems to have detected there's hostile missiles come out because he's pulling the G, but he's out of energy essentially. And you've got a high energy Mirage on you. And Kapow is a dead man. Never stood a chance. Oh, well, look at that. I don't know why that missile missed, but it did. Still, he's a dead man. He's got a high energy Mirage after him. It's guns, 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 or another Fox 2, and that's a Fox 2. That's definitely a kill. So that was just Joker. Lost a little bit of situational awareness, and was just, if you're going to hang around that close to an enemy SAM net, you can't be doing it at 350, 300 knots. It's a world of pain for an F-15. If you got to do it, you got to do your racetrack. Like I said earlier, do it further away. Do it 20 miles away from this area. You're just as effective, if not more effective, being further away. And then when you spot the hostiles with your radar, which is easier to do at longer range, like 20 miles, then do your charging, dump your tanks, do your charging. You get a chance to get your energy up and be effective. You're not effective in any way. You're vulnerable sitting duck around here at 300 knots Cessna speed. Someone's going to come and pluck you out easily. Hopefully that's lesson learnt there. Don't make yourself a sitting duck easy target. Do it out here like the F-15 is starting to do. Even with a bit of altitude, that would be nice. Gives you some energy, some potential energy in the bank. And look at what happens now. There's one guy who can just pluck his way in and he's going to finish all 3 F-15s out. Simply because the tactics just weren't right. There's a missile here, but that was easily defeated. It was a 15-mile shot. Warren's coming in, he's firing a shot. This guy is going to put this guy under pressure. It doesn't really matter. This Mirage here is going to waste everything. He's a Fox with the hens. Look at these hens down here at 300, 400 knots. Useless. Pow. Absolutely destroyed. This guy doing it all right. Going fast, going low. Yeah, and that guy's dead, obviously. A whole host of missiles going out, and this is interesting actually. Warren shot these long range shots in. Really dangerous to do when you've got a friend in there, because if that friend kills the blue guy, which is done, these aim 120s are now designed essentially to shoot that red plane down, because they come along, they've got no IFF ability, their main target's disappeared, these switch their own radars on, they go pitbull, and they're now going to be chasing after Uderosa. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these came and shot Uderosa down now. So that's a tactic you've got to be a little bit careful of. You can I remember one guy made a comment that I don't take many AMRAAM shots when I've got a clear shot when I'm doing the flying. The reason is if there's a friendly near the hostile that I'm trying to shoot at, I don't take the shot, because there's almost just as much chance I'm going to kill a friend. That's something that should be learnt by everyone. Hence why I never get team kills. I'm not on the team kill chart. Anyway, that's for another day. Right. So this guy's still shooting. Well, yeah, fair enough. I mean, he wants to kill something, but all these long range shots are a little bit useless. And again, he's got a buddy in there. He'll see that on his radar. He's got a buddy in there. These are going to do more damage than good. Tender's here. He's in for the kill. Again, King never stood. A good side. He knows trouble's going on, so he's got his energy high. He's up to nearly 700 knots. That's a great thing to do. But because he's so close, and he's got foxes in the hen, coop now, there's very little you can do, even with high energy. If it was me, boom, south, run away. Dogfighting against these guys is just never going to end well, but it's going to look cool. Okay, so let's see. So let's run that. We better set this up, standby. Okay, so Tender has got a lock on this guy. Now, let's see what missile he fires. 2.5 miles, that's still okay for an AIM-120. Any closer, it's too close for an AIM-120. You've got to get on your sidewinder. See if he falls for that mistake. Both 700 knots, energy high, down on the deck. He's kind of done a snap turn, and now look how far he shot behind the hostile. the hostiles moving from left to right in front of his nose, hugely fast. He'll see that. But yet he's still shot behind the hostile. When you release that missile, especially with a side aspect guy that's moving from left to right or right to left fast, you've got to shoot in front of the hostile to make your missile stand a chance. Otherwise, that missile has got to essentially go all the way around here and then chase that plane up here to get the bang, and almost no missiles can do that, especially a long-range, low manoeuvrability AIM-120C. So we're just going to see that thing just go into the distance. It was a waste of a missile. Maybe if it had shot in front of him with an AIM-9, that would have been okay, but... So he's using... I mean, it did well. It turned and exactly the same thing. Look at that. He shot behind... Oh, blast. So that one... And now he's shooting now at 4,000 feet a long-range, low manoeuvrability missile that has absolutely no. It's so close here that AIM-120C won't even have armed its detonator by the time it passes this guy, let alone it ever hitting him. So these are just purely wasted missiles in the panic of the moment. He should have set his AIM-9s up, or he should have just saved his time and composure and gone in for guns. These are pure wasted missiles that could never have hit. So let's see that through anyway. And again, he shot behind him again. Look at that. That missile would now have to turn around and follow him all the way out here to be able to hit. Simply not possible. King's done kind of the same thing. He's done a panic shot on this guy. Again, the aspect when firing was so stupidly out of kilter, this missile would have to basically turn around. So a good example of showing how not to use your missiles in kind of close panic combat. If you can't get an angle for shooting like this, then concentrate on your energy conservation and your positioning. Rather than these snapshots, concentrate, okay, what can I do to put my plane behind his to take a real shot? Maybe I go up, I do a high yo-yo and come round. Maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that. Maybe I don't want to fight this fight, it's too scary, I want to run away. I like doing that. That's why I stay alive a lot. Well, sometimes. Anyway, so it was a bit immature here. It was kind of like kids throwing stones at each other. It was a bit silly. So let's see where we go. And Tender's got a lovely position on him. King made the wrong choice here. Took the snapshot, panicked, took the wrong choice. And it's allowed Tender to easily get on his ass without doing any work. And he's dead now. That's an AIM-120 at the tailpipe, just like that. Can't escape from that shot. Pow, dead. Somehow survived. Fired an AIM-9 at this guy? I get the feeling King might have actually been fighting this guy and not this guy. Might have happened. King somehow survived, but you know, there's too much cover going on here. He's never going to get away. Or maybe he will. Warren's just not seen him, which is fair enough. You know, there's no reason why he would have seen him. Yep, King's out. Okay, so quick lessons learned there. Just don't get yourself in a dogfight. There's no need to be there dogfighting someone at 700 knots down there. Run away. Run away, you're perfectly safe. Then you can turn around when you're 20 miles away. You've got plenty of gas in that F-15 and fight properly with an F-15 at proper F-15 fighting ranges, and so you can get your the terms back on your side. There's no reason to panic, and also loitering around here at low energy, low altitude was a recipe for disaster. It was only going to end one way. Cadron comes in. Not sure what to think about Cadron. I mean, it took him half an hour to get on the comms, but he's come in, and let's see what he's doing. So let's set this fight up. Right, so Cadron is coming in now. He's finally got his stuff together. He's seen a target he likes the look of. I don't like that target. It's surrounded by SA-6s. We are deep in SA-6 territory. I find it I would not be anywhere near here, but he's a brave youngster, so he's going to go in. So let's look at the shot then. He's got a target that's relatively energy high, relatively low, and a cold aspect. We are energy high, 700 knots, low as well. So what's our kill range here? Well, our kill range, if we do the interpolation, is about 4 miles with an AIM-120C. So we're nearly double that. We're 8 miles. So what could this shot be about? Well, all it could be about then is a posturing shot to send this guy defensive. Again, what's the point of sending a guy defensive that's right over the middle of their base, over the middle of their SAMs? If anything, maybe you're helping him slightly. So moral, don't take bad shots. The only way this is going to kill him is if Tender turns straight into that missile. No, he's not. He's turning away. Yes, he is. He's going to turn straight into the missile. That's a little bit silly. Okay, well, he's had every chance to get away. Okay, is literally he did the wrong thing. He didn't really do hard evasive pull. Remember, big high 9G pull, at least 90 degrees to burn off that missile energy. He didn't. He did a small roll, put some countermeasures out, and hence that missile almost killed him. And you know, he had no right to kill him at 8 miles. So a little bit bad from Tender there. So one thing, and I'm guilty of this. When you're doing something, when you're flying an aeroplane, you've got to do everything 100%. You can't do it 50% or 30%. So he thought, okay, I'm relatively safe. I'm near my base. I'll just put 30% of energy or of effort into this turn. Don't put your full. You'll see experienced guys like Fort Nero and Rosa. They do the full 90 degree, the full 100% into everything you do. Every shot you do 100%. Every turn you do 100%. Because otherwise you take chances like this. If that missile was 1 second later, it would have killed him because he was doing bad turning. And that's something I'm guilty of as well. Just being a little bit lazy sometimes, not putting energy into everything. So that's chance for me to learn. Anyway, let's look at that shot again. So he's coming in very, very fast. That's good. That's what the F-15 is designed to do. Let's look at that. So the hostile is now beaming. He's taking a shot there. Oh, for 5 minutes. I can't get this bloody thing to work. Stand by. There, he's taking a shot. We've got a 5-mile shot and a flanking target. Energy high, both low, both energy high. So you're pushing on the boundaries of what's possible here. But 5 miles, maybe, yeah, is just about okay. So it would have been 6.5 miles for a hot shot. Cold about 4 miles, so 5 miles is just within the realms of this missile low, and he's got his energy high, so it's doing everything right. Maybe I would have liked to see him put a bit more lead on the shot, but that's just getting finicky. So Tender has to start working 100% now to beat this missile. It's within legal parameters to kill him, and he's just about done enough. You can see him get a bit panicky there. Tender seems to be a bit indecisive. You see that put left right roll on the stick? That's panic, not knowing what to do. Right, left, what shall I do? I don't know what to do. And right again. So that was wasted 2 seconds, and left again. Wasted 2 seconds. You're letting that missile catch up. Gotta be really, really confident what you're doing. In the end, it was enough to beat that missile. You've got to turn and pull. No indecisiveness, because the missile will know that. And this guy has eventually been punished. There's only so long you can charge into a SAM net, without missiles coming in, and is a dead man, obviously. If the missiles don't get him, they'll burn his energy off enough that this guy can come out and kill him. So there's not really much to learn about. He has evaded this, that's pretty good. And he's kept his energy relatively high. In fact, he's beaten all the missiles, great. But more are going to come out. Something's going to get him here. He's just had to put too much compromise into that. Look at that sharp turn. So, was it worth charging in there like a boy and trying to kill that guy? No, there was no point at all. Do your job. Stay here. Protect the hostile. Protect the friendlies. That's your job. Not charging in and dying. And yeah, I mean, it's still energy high, but it would have. There's a lot of work he's having to do to beat that. And if he didn't beat that, this guy was going to get him. So it was all irrelevant at the end. Right, stuff's happening over here now, look. I'm going to wind that back and just have a little look. And there we go. So, I get to see, the good thing about doing this is the Grim Reapers get to see new guys and we get to judge them. It's a bit mean, really, judging people, but that's what we're here to do. We're looking for top pilots at the end of the day. We don't want pilots that can't fly their planes. So, and this guy has been impressing me lately, Zoidberg. I think we'd like to invite him to be a full-time guy. So if you're watching, and if you have the time, give us a shout. If you don't have the time, that's fair enough. Most people don't, because full-time flying is during the week, when most people are at work and stuff like that. Real people at work. Right, so let's analyse Zoidberg now. He only flies the Mirage, but he's very good at it. We've got a fight here. We've got Squiddle down here, energy average at 5,000 feet, so essentially that's low on the deck. That's about, skimming that mountain essentially, and he's looking for trouble. Again, I keep saying it, don't know why you're down here so low. I'd have you up here. Maybe it's because of the SAM sites. If so, then just operate slightly out here. I just can't see the point. But anyway, I'm not a flanker driver. They are flanker drivers, so I shan't criticise too much. We've got Zoidberg coming in. He's detected danger. He's coming in energy high, 600 knots. He's on the deck. He wants to give himself mast. He can't see this guy here for whatever reason. Can see this guy here. So, what happens? We're 11 miles, 10 miles. Looking promising. 9 miles. within visual range. Squirrel just hasn't seen him, is just carrying on his routine, hasn't seen him. Zoidberg's very aggressive posture, knows exactly what's going on, and we have a missile now. Let's analyse that shot, shall we? So, Zoidberg down on the duck, energy high. Squirrel, energy average to high, essentially down on the deck as well, flanking. So, what's that? That's roughly down on the deck, that's 6. That's about a 5-mile kill shot. So he's about a mile too far away to really get this killing on a flanking target. You know, it's close, it's very close. It would have been nice to wait a little bit longer, but it's hard to make those calculations on the fly. So that missile's going out. Squirrel's got a warning. This missile will give a warning, so he's got to do something, and he's had a bit of a panic. If that was me, and I knew that the missile was coming from, hard back to the right, turn right. But he's got enough. Yeah, the missile was loose enough in the end that he could beat it. And let's analyse the second shot. So this second shot, first one was probably a posturing shot. The second one is going to be a kill shot. Cinema code. There's the second shot. 4 to 4.5 miles on a flanking to cold target when your energy high, down low. 4 miles, really, 4 miles or just under is your kill shot. So it's just about in there for a kill shot. It's slightly on high range, so Squirrel will be able to beat it, especially if terrain mask. That line there has changed to red. I think that means he's got no line of sight. So that missile is now a dead missile. Squirrel's done his job. His terrain mask well enough. That missile almost caught him. See that? Almost caught him. That missile's lost track because he went. So he's using terrain masking rather than kind of high G maneuvers as such to beat the missile. So let's see how this fight goes. It's going to be interesting. Squirrel still terrain masking. Great thing to do down here. We saw the Mirages doing it on the last major fight. Still no line of sight. So Zoidberg's using instinct now. He doesn't really know which way Squirrel's gone. There. Now he can get visual back again. 2 miles away. Now he's got to set his jet up again for a kill shot, which I imagine he's about to do. Everything right. Keeping his energy high. Squirrel's not keeping his energy high enough. That, sir, is a kill shot. That was what... that was a 2-mile heat seeker right up the tailpipe. 2 mile is about the maximum for a sidewinder type missile at this range, so it's a touch on the long side, but you can still get killed, bearing in mind he's so high energy. And Squirrel's got nowhere to go this time. Nothing he can do to beat that. Oh, that was so close. Well done, Squirrel. Just. Like I said, that missile was just slightly on the long side and it just ran out of energy. Just saw it in well enough. Well done, Squirrel. Excellent flying so far from Squirrel. See, what he could do is turn around and try and reverse and fight him, but he just hasn't got enough room. He knows he hasn't got enough room to do that. The best thing to do is get into the mountains, try and vector one of his friends onto him, which he's done. He said, Aiko, I'm in the shit, come and find me. Here comes Aiko. So he's doing everything right to survive. Now, this is interesting. Rather than continuing down the path there of the safety, he's turned into Aiko, and he wants Aiko to come and save him. That's okay, because Aiko's pretty close. He knows how close Aiko is. Aiko can now start pummeling missiles on this Mirage. Is it enough? Can Zoidberg get this kill? Zoidberg's got far fixation on Squirrel. He's got better energy, possibly a better jet for doing this. It's going to be very hard for him to cock this up. So Zoidberg, if he's got a missile, that's definitely a kill shot. 1 mile. What can he do now? Oh, he did a Cobra! Oh, look at that! That's wonderful. How did he fool that miss? Hang on, is it going for him? Yeah, it's going for him. How did he do that? Let's watch that again. There's nothing he can do to dodge that missile. 1 mile, heat seeker. So he's flying through the mountain and looking in out of his left cockpit to see that missile coming. What's he done to beat it? I don't know what he's done. He's just done an... He's got big alpha on the go. He's got 23. He's got big G. He's getting into big G. Gotta watch that again. Gonna put that in slow motion. Try and work out what he did, so that we can learn to do it. Okay, going slow motion. He's flying straight and level, pulling no G's, pulling no alpha. Missiles come. He's up to 10 alpha. 16 alpha. So he's giving backstick. He's introducing G into the aircraft. He's got 5G, 6G. A bigger pull there. He's got 20 alpha. Some left roll. Well, there's nothing amazing there. It wasn't a 9G pull. It was just a bit of a flick on the stick with countermeasures. Somehow it's beaten a missile. Fair enough. Did he put his throttle down? Did he throttle down? We don't see the throttle, I don't think, in this. Okay. What I think he did was this. It's the only way... He's got no even manoeuvring like that. You can't beat a missile that's still on rocket motor. All I can think of is he did enough of a pull, plus enough flares, plus I think he turned his engine off. I think he throttled right down, which made his engines cold and confused that missile. It's the only way, and you can tell that also by how energy low he is. Is he still slowing down? Yeah, so with that alpha, he only went at 20 degrees alpha, which flanker can handle. So he sacrificed his energy by turning his engines off to beat that missile, and it worked. So that is some veteran flying there. He just wanted to buy himself a few more seconds to Lyco come in, but now it's guns, guns, guns from orbit. So this is like proper veteran fighting going on here. Really great to see. I just realised we slowed down. Let's speed that up again. Guns, guns, guns. Squiddle got lucky. Now they're in rolling scissors. Now it's all about getting slow enough for these. Look at all the energy this flanker has burnt off. Trying to get slow as possible, trying to make this red guy overshoot, trying to put in angles so that guy can't get gun solution on him. And the reds had to do the same. If he kept fast, high energy, all he could have done was shot in front of the blue guy, or maybe or yo-yoed up high. But so he's had to burn his own energy off. So Soyberg's just put alpha, 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 alpha all the way around here. Maybe air brakes. He's desperately trying to keep behind it and struggling. That flanker can turn at low speed. Now, what the Mirage doesn't know, that Squirrel does know, is this guy's coming in to save the day. So, Squirrel's done just enough. They're both almost at stall speed. Squirrel's stalling now. Oh, now that was panic shot by Ico. He just didn't... I think Ico was coming in, but it was very hard to see which target was which. You know, they're rolling scissors, and only at the last minute did he see this hostile here. Took the shot, it was too late. Again, it takes time for those missiles, even the R-73, to arm itself. So it was a panic shot, bit silly. Elo, more experience. I would expect him to come and finish the job now. So Elo's been vectored in, so Squiddle's shouting, I'm in trouble, come and help me. And he's done some great maverick flying. Elo's come in, didn't like the shot for whatever reason. Guns, guns, guns going out. Squiddle's still dodging. They're managing to get a bit more energy into their planes, or keeping his energy better. Which puts him in the driving seat. All Squiddle's got to do is stay alive for a few seconds while Ico finishes this guy. Come on, don't fly that direction. Kill him. And Squiddle did everything right. It was cocked up by Ico and Elo, who should have come and saved him. That was their job, but they didn't. It took too long for them to identify their target, and now they've taken so long that this guy's coming in to help. So that was some bad flying by our guys. And pow, rightfully so, he was killed. He should have been in, zoom, kill that Mirage, get out. Don't cock about, you haven't got time. On the plus side, great for us to watch. Mr. Silverman's come in now in his Mirage, and he's coming, this guy's is in trouble now, Zoidberg. So Silverman comes in, and he is blasting away, doing a much better job. He's come in hard, he's identified his target further out rather than being further in. Maybe the train helped him, I don't know. We can't really see what the drivers are seeing. And now, all of a sudden, it's reversed. There's now 2 red against 1. That's an R-73. That's hard to beat. Let's analyse this. No, I think because it's a 3-man fight, I don't think we can analyse it. That's 2 miles. That is within the bound parameters of an R-73. That should be a kill shot. Very hard missile to beat. Nice. Just enough turn. Just enough countermeasure. Enough energy in the bird. And another hard missile to beat. Look at that jink! Oh my word, that was a genuine jink. I'm starting to like this guy. A really good way of beating a missile or guns is a jink dodge, and I can't do it. I'm not skillful enough to do it. So jink dodge is when you're turning. You already got your 9G turning or whatever you've got, and we can see him here. Look at that, 8.9G. That is the absolute limit. So if you were in his cockpit, all you would see is black, because all of the blood is drained from his head. And if he goes over 9G, he blacks out. That's a dead Mirage. I'm sure you've seen me do that enough times. It's balancing right on the limit of the 9G now. As well as that, he has the foresight to be looking out the top of his cockpit while dodging this and seeing the only way you can see these are being fired is by smoke trail that they leave. And that's what, 3,000 feet. You've got a second to dodge this missile, and he's going to put a jink move in, which means turning and keeping turning, but while turning, you suddenly do half a second of opposite roll against the turn, and then roll back in within that half a second, and that is enough to change your trajectory enough for a second, just to buy you milliseconds to confuse that missile. Really hard to do. Ready? And a jink. Okay, he didn't do it the way I was taught to jink outwards, he jinked inwards. Let's watch that one more time. That missile may have been fired too close. Do you see that jink there? Got to see that one more time. We're going to put it in super slow mode this time. Super slow mode. So this is quarter of the time that occurred, and put the jink just enough, and that was 2 feet away from his cockpit. That thing when it passed. So it shows that you can dodge those missiles if you've got enough skill. And look, his wing went through the mountain on attack view. It shows how close he is. So to dodge 2 R-73s, I don't really know anyone that's done that, so that's great. Another R-73, and we're starting to scrub Zoidberg's speed off here. You know, Gonzalo's clearly on the guy's 6, firmly on the guy's 6. This guy's having to work, and it's not only energy that you're scrubbing off; it's also the pilot's resolve to fight. You get more and more tired. It's extremely tiring, even in a video game. You're cranking your net back. You're fighting against that G. Even though it's not real G, but you do feel it in the game because of the blackout. You just get worn down, and your resolve to fight starts going down. And I imagine that's what we're going to start to see here. Another jink. Okay, no, it's on a reverse that time. Is it enough to beat an R-73? I can't believe it is. I can't beat these missiles. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, a third missile beaten by a kind of jink maneuver, and it's the timing of that. And let's play it in full time. So he's fighting against G. He's got 6G on the go. He's got an hour from the go. Just look. Do you see that? Do you see that jink back? And he can only do that with the roll rate of the Mirage as well. I doubt a flanker could have done that. And turn back. And let's just see how he kept energy in the plane. I don't know. I would just stall if I tried to do that. Let's slow that right down. See it one more time. It's a lovely masterclass in flying here. We don't often get this with the Reapers. We don't have master pilots. We have some good pilots, there's no doubt about it, but we don't often get master pilots in. Because we're not a competitive group. We don't, there are competitive groups that do red flag and stuff. We don't do it. We're more of a friends, type thing. So there's energy low to average. Somehow he knows that missile's there. I wouldn't know that missile's there. He's got his belly turned to it. How does he know that missile's there? 12 Alpha, 20 Alpha is pulling. He turns, starts banking left to do his reverse, and he's just looking out the left of his cockpit, and he sees that missile literally in his face at that point, 30 feet from the aircraft. What's he doing? He's got no G, but he's got all the Alpha. He's got 20 Alpha in there. And just enough. It doesn't look like a huge amount in slow motion there, but that's just enough wing roll to fool that missile. With his countermeasures, with his, whatnot, his aspect. And like I keep saying, those missiles are really hard to beat at 1 to 2 miles range. Almost impossible to beat. So great stuff going on there. Right, we'll split it back up to this is just full speed. Shows how fast this fight was. Gonzalo, a little bit noobish there. Red came around here and started increasing his turn, burning his energy off to try and get a snap on Elo. What Elo doesn't want to do is... Elo should be able to see that. Elo shouldn't turn in front of it. Elo should see that and then kind of laterally yo-yo around the outside so he can keep his speed up and keep on the guy's 6. The critical thing is not getting the shot per se, it's keeping on the guy's 6. And what you're doing by turning into him here is that giving this guy angle to get back on you and get a snapshot back on you. So I would like to think if that was me, I would try and just keep on the guy's 6, which I can do because you'd have a flanker, go around the outside, keep your energy, let him stall, which he's doing by doing that snap back, and then do that. But no, he's gone in and he's fired a 27T. I'm not sure what the missile is, but it's clearly not a close range missile. It's a pointless shot. That missile will activate somewhere around there, I'd imagine. It's a long range missile. You can just see by the size of the bloody thing. So that was a panic. And he's got a little squirt out there. And now Elo's got himself in a bit of trouble here because he didn't do the big loop back like I would have liked him to do. He's allowed Mr. Mirage to get super high angle of attack, 30-degree angle of attack, and this Mirage can handle these big angles of attack, and it's just pure turn now. 35 degrees alpha. Elo is doing a bit more sensible alpha. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so Elo, I think he realised, shit, I've cocked this up. I can't turn to get back on this guy's 6 because his turn rate is, degrees per second is so high now, and he sees this guy coming in because it is him the threat. So it's really good flying from Elo here. If he hadn't taken this guy out, he would have taken him back. So he gets a long range missile out. It just activates in time. That guy goes straight into it. The problem is, what have you done now? You've sacrificed yourself. If I was Elo now, burners on, get out. With this Mirage, low fuel Mirage, high skill Mirage, don't try and dogfight him. Get the hell out. If you've got the speed advantage to begin with, you can run away. But he's figured that out. He's a little bit too late, you could say. That Mirage is now faster than him. This Elo's not on full burn. I can tell there's a mil power, so he's in trouble. The fight's reversed. So that is Zoidberg's fight now. Now, oh, look at that. Zoidberg lost. There's this thing about I was saying about earlier. That fight, that big fight there, has completely knackered this guy out. When you knacker someone out, they start making mistakes and become easier to shoot down. And look, he had no right to miss where Elo went there. He should have been following him all the time, but he's just exhausted from that fight. And Elo, a tiny little flick to the left, down in the valley, and it's just fooled him. And that's the end of the fight. They're both depart. So, really top-notch stuff there. Love to see that. Really good stuff. A few mistakes, but there always are. So, lovely show. They're just going to go. I think they're both fed up now. They're going to go their own ways. Neither of them have the resolve really to carry on that battle. They both. He wants to go back home, wants to refuel, wants to rest. So does Elo. Cool. So that's pretty cool, right? What's been happening otherwise? Well, obviously the huge tank battle's going on. I mean, you saw it. Shifty came in with the tanks, destroyed all these villages, all these grey units are dead. Red units. This guy, look, Shifty's in this 1045 here, just shooting, towing these T90s from a long mile away. That's how you kill tanks. Sit yourself in a forest, sit miles away, get eyes on them, send tows out. Beautiful way of killing a bunch of T90s. And these T90s are deadly. They're just as good as the M1, as the Abrams and stuff that we've got here essentially. So great ground fighting there, wiping out those nasty units. They're going to go on now, take that town. Easy work. And they go on and fight that. So what's happening next? Well, we've got some Hatsu's SU-25s who've done just perfect work so far really. I'm just going to see what they were doing. So they came in, they did their big shot, then they came out, loitered around a bit. Hatsu, that guy's gone home. Hatsu's decided to go venture into Dangerland. Always dangerous. Note that he's going in to the Red Samnet, probably to kill some Red Sams, but he's got no escort. Always going to be a little bit dangerous here. And this guy is just in a F-86. I don't know what he's trying to achieve, but he's going to get shot down, obviously. He probably didn't even get a warning from that missile, so F-86 obviously not really any use on this map. I can't see any use of it. Okay, you got some missiles out by Hatsu. Let's speed that forward. And on an SA-6, and pow! Check out that SA-6. Lovely. A little bit careful because you are running into another SA-6. Let's see where this goes. Right over an SA, and he got shot down, of course. Okay, so I don't think he realised there was an SA-6 there. I think he killed that and he thought, right, the net is now, gone. This time he didn't realise there was there. He flew over it, and he was lucky not to get shot down before, to be honest. So, well, there you go. A little bit of a lack of information there with the GCI. The GCI should have seen him going towards the SA-6, assuming that he gets hit himself. So don't go anywhere near there. Right, let's see what happens next. Any action? Okay, so I'll just scroll it forward. We had a little bit of Fortinero and Uderosa just running small hit and runs into blue, but they were fought off by an SA-6, so nothing really happened. Let's go forward again. Okay, now, tactically, but all blues have to do is get from here now to here. Reds were complaining, oh, we don't know where the blues are, because Reds don't have this map. They can't actually see, no ground units can see other ground units. And now, that's not really an excuse, because all of these tanks here have just wiped out this city here, which was full of about 20 or 30 red units. So the Reds have no excuse not to know that there's a battalion of blue tanks attacking. They should have been saying at this point, oh shit, these guys are completely useless now. This cap, they have no use. They've been sitting here for 10 minutes, 15 minutes without any action, these cap here. Let's scramble, let's get in the A10s, let's go neutralise this battalion of tanks. That's what we should be doing. They know they're there because of what's been going on. It's only 15 miles away from our base. Let's get it done. As you can see, there's no blue cap in the air, but they didn't do that. They had a breakdown in brain, basically. They sent this guy out on an A10, but I think he's never flown an A10 before. He didn't know how to fire his weapons, so I don't know why they even bothered sending him out. He just went straight in there, turned around, landed, and that was the end of it. And all these lovely cap flyers, cap fly. Nothing to do. Sit here for probably quarter of an hour, half an hour. They had nothing to do. Here, finally, Joker's Sabre are coming back in. But here's the danger. Those F-15s aren't going to take the airfield. These guys are going to take the airfield. Take these guys out. They should have had multiple A10 sorties on that town by now and wiped out these guys. And why do I say A10? I'm not saying Harriers. Harriers have a tiny use in CAS. This is I made this point earlier. This is now this is not a deep strike. It's not a fast strike on these guys. This is now close air support. This is when you use your A10s, take them off, hover them around here, shoot these tanks from a safe range. Don't fly over the bloody top of them. From a safe range with your Hellfire, with your Maverick missiles. This is what the A10 was designed for, close air support. They've not capitalised it. They've not done it. Hence, they end up losing the mission. Instead, they've got 5, 6 cap fighters out that have no use at the moment in the mission. So they should have detected that when they lost their main town. Sabre here, I don't know what what their mission is, but they're just doing their patrol at the end of the day, probably ahead of clearing out for some blue CAS. So all these red pilots are just wasting time. And here comes Shifty, big tank push now. Got a small fight going on. Joker wants some revenge against these guys. He's just gonna do this by eye. He's gonna take speed that up a little bit. It's taken a 12-mile shot on this guy. That's ambitious. Tender should easily beat that. Now we've got a lovely example of Tender doing things half-assed here. Again, he's got a missile coming towards him. He knows he's in danger. One turn to the left or to the right ages ago, back here, and pull. Not dilly-dallying around like he's done for that 2 miles. Wasting time. Going to get shot if he wastes time. Still not doing anything to beat that missile. Half-assed. Just a couple of Gs. Just going to gently glide into that missile. The missile is way too far away to hit him anyway, but again, I don't like seeing half-assed flying. Big pull, get out, don't piss around. There's a guy right up there, look at that, Angels 30. Zoidberg's up at Angels 30 doing some cap. Okay, fair enough, whatever. He should be in an A10. We've got the Sabres, blue Sabre cap coming in now. They've got too close to this SA6. And this SA6 has now split them up. Panicked them all. They've probably all got the warning from the SA6. Get out there, boys. You don't need to be here. Well, I guess they've been told to defend these tanks. To defend those tanks, you don't need to be sitting here in SA6. You can do it out to sea. That way you get lovely radar coverage. Be out to sea. Much safer out to sea. Much harder. Especially far out. Tender is coming in. He's spotted that these guys are all in trouble now. He's now coming and he's going to hopefully capitalise. He's going to try and capitalise. Oh, Dagger are coming back on their mountain pass again. Let's scroll that forward, see what happens. Monty's had a shot. Oh, action. There's action going on. We missed all that. Okay, so Monty's come here. He's taken a 10-mile shot at Warren. That's not a kill shot, especially on a cold defensive target. No, it's an aim 7. Wow, that's brave. Aim 7. He took aim 7s. These missiles are useless. I've taken them many times, and I don't think I've ever shot anything down with them. And an aim 9P. Oh dear. Oh dear. So this is just bad shooting now. So there's an aim 7 when he could have had the AMRAAMs. Maybe he was feeling sorry for the Reds. And that is a 4 to 5 mile shot with an aim 9, which a maximum on a cold target he could have done 2 miles. So that has no chance to kill anything. Okay, we've had Mike come into the fight, who's been up high, and he's getting up beautifully on the edge of Cadron's ass here. So look how far that aim 9 got. It's a complete waste. And he's now put himself in SAM range. And there's so much going on, I can't keep up. There's an old AIM 9 chasing Monty down. Sorry, an AIM 120 chasing that guy down. There's a tender. I've lost him. Where is he? Has fired a missile in. So what happened over here then? Where did Tender go? Oh, I think Tender gets shot. So that was Monty's shot. King comes in to support Monty. It's all a bit clusterfucky here. Joker turns around. Tender. I mean, it's a perfectly good shot by their Tender. That's what, 5 miles. Really good shot. High energy. Joker's going to really struggle to defeat that. So Joker's done the 9G pull. He's burnt as well a lot of energy off to do it. And he's put the counter measures out. Will he dodge that? I'm not sure he will. And he's put his own missile back on Tender. So it's good to see a really good snapshot there from Joker. And what we're seeing Tender, that he doesn't dodge. He just doesn't dodge. Look at the difference between the dodging here, Joker. Big 9G pull. Big high pull. Making that missile work. Tender doesn't dodge. He just kind of... I think his name suits him well. He's very tender. He won't pull back on that stick. And look at that. Just no dodge. No dodge. Putting like 2Gs. Can't beat a missile like that. Joker can beat. This missile was much better than Joker's. It was from a much faster plane. Much harder to dodge this missile. Joker's was a shit shot because he was going slow. I mean, it's fairly fast, but it never really get up to the speed that Tenders can. So there should have easily been Tender. But it was the defensive move that decided that. Tender didn't do the dodge. Gotta start learning to dodge. Joker, he did crash in the end. That was a really hard missile. Oh no, he didn't, sorry. Okay, Joker just ended up crashing in the end, but that's fair enough. He had to do a lot of work. But it was really Tenders to lose, and it's because he can't get that dodging right, those hard pulls. A lot of pilots in the real air forces are like that. They're a bit too tender on the control stick. They don't want to do that big pull because it hurts and it loses them situational awareness, and it does. It's horrible. I hate doing it. I often black out when doing it. But it's something you have to do if you want to beat missiles, and that's why fighter pilots have to do, all or nothing. Big 8, 9G or nothing. Don't do it at 3 or 4G. It's just a waste. You'll die. Anyway, I hope I drilled that in. And there's some fighting. There's a dead missile going on there. I don't know what the AIM-21C there. It's just a dead missile. I think this is where it starts getting a little ugly from memory. So Cadron's realised his mistake. Hang on, he did this last time. He died, he charged in and got shot by SAMs. He hasn't learned his lesson. He's charged straight into the SAM net again, and he's getting SAMs out. On the plus side, he does seem to be good at keeping his energy high. Energy high means, yes, you can beat missiles. But he's put himself in a world now. He's turning. Nah, he should have gone straight south there. Afterburners out, 700 knots. He would have been okay. But he's turned dilly-dallying. Saying that's much easier from. He's probably thought missiles are still after him. So it's easy for us to contemplate. Luckily, Monty's back on the overlap. And this guy is doing hard, aggressive pulls. And those missiles can't keep up with him. There's hard, aggressive pulls. There is some good stuff. And this is a huge cock-up from Mike here. He just flies into him and doesn't shoot him. All this opportunity Mike had to kill this guy. So you'd have to explain yourself. I don't know. And Monty's done his job there. His buddy was in trouble. He sent an AIM 120. It wasn't a kill shot. It was, 12 miles or something. But it put this guy cold, and that was enough to save his buddy. Let's see. So Cadron's a snapshot with an AIM 9. An AIM 9 is the correct missile to use. There's just too much. There's too much pull from Mike here. There's too much turn going on. This AIM 9 never really gets enough distance to get engaged in the turn. It will turn a little bit, but yeah. It just never got into the fight. Needed to wait until the aspect was a little bit lower, and it looks like Mike's going to turn it now. There, when your the hostile aspect was less, then was the chance to fire the missile. I guess you're telling me he's out of missiles now. Don't fire now. Okay, maybe. Okay, fair play. So let's see, why did that hit but the other one didn't hit? Let's look at Mike's speed. There it is. Mike's burnt all of his energy off. Look at that. And do you see how the Mirage just died? It was travelling, too much backseat, and it died. It just ran out of energy at that point. And once you're out of energy, you're toast. You're an easy fight for that missile. So it would have been nice to see Mike retaining his energy. That way he could have beaten that missile, or the shot would have never got off in the first place. But that's the way it goes. Fornero's now back in. Now this guy's usually very good, but he had a bad day in the air, plane-wise. So he's come in. on an intercept course, but he's already lost situational awareness. He hasn't seen this guy. He just didn't realise this guy was here. He wanted to get in because he's had a shit day so far. He wanted to come in, get his kill. Already he's put himself in a world of pain. Look at that. Very unusual to see him. So I think he just had a bad day at the end of the day, which all of us do. Let's just run that through again. Just see what's going on. So you've got, it says, was King versus Fortnero. That is 15 miles. Plus, you've got an intercept coming in from Cadron here that you can't see. So we're now cooking on about 10 miles. Energy low, King. Don't like to see low energy. Energy high, Fortnero, doing it properly. 800 feet off the ground. Super low. 7, 8 miles. 7, maybe 6 miles it is now. Beautiful shot from King. He's done his maths. He's realised, you know, 6 miles hot on a couple of hot targets low down is just within your parameters of name. Don't know why he's got Bravo, but each to their own. That is a kill shot, and he can literally just leave that to go pitbull. Now turn away. No reason to follow that up. And he's doing it. Good flying. And Fortnero is just... He was just too close to that incoming shot, and he wasn't... That is dodgeable. A 6 mile AMRAM is dodgeable down here if you've got a big 9G polling countermeasures on the go, and he's left it too late. Look at that. He's doing a tender. Oh, okay. I don't know how he beat it. Something went wrong with that missile because it should have been King kill all day. Instead, now King could have turned around, turned out of combat, and that would have been okay. And he should be dead, really. But he turned back in. And it is an ET. He didn't get a warning. That was a splash shot. I would like to know why. So what did this guy do to beat that missile? Should be, all I can think of is that King didn't leave it long enough for it to go pitbull, and hence it was a dead missile. Because he never even tried to track him. So I get the feeling that missile never turned its radar on, never had time to turn its radar on. Hence why I thought never didn't get a warning. Hence why I didn't get hit. Fair enough. Don't know what to say about that one. And then he got a lovely ET kill shot in. Well, Fortnero doesn't realise this guy is on his back, and that's a nice shot from an aim 9. You know, he is going. Fortnero's aspect left to right. He was fast, but because he was travelling at that kind of angle, the aspect change in front of the blue plane wasn't as harsh as that kind of aspect change. There was a good 2 miles, 1.5 miles for that aim 9 to get a fix, to get active, and yeah, especially Fortnero didn't know it was coming. Now, interestingly, we've got an ET shot in the air. This is a kill missile. It doesn't give any warning to this guy, so it could actually be a kill. I've seen him do things like this before. Is it going to go speed it up? Oh my word! Just ran out of energy. So, yeah, there you go. Warren's now coming in. It's non-stop action at the moment. Speed that up a little bit. And we've got fighting up there. We've got to go and look at as well. Never ending. Okay. Let's just run that back. Why don't we set this up and analyse it? So we've got Warren and Cadron. So we've got Warren high energy, low. Cadron high energy, low, chasing. So our interpolator should tell us that a kill missile from a cold target with an aim 120 going fast is about 4 miles or under. We're at just under 7 miles here. So that's we're at 6.5 miles. That is the kind of range that you can kill a guy head on, not the kind of range you can kill a guy flying away like this. So unless this guy literally just goes straight and ignore it, which he won't, it's not going. No, it's not even have the energy to catch up. Look, it's already sub 1,000 knots. This guy's already going 730 knots. He's clean. He's low fuel. So, you know, there's nothing this guy can do to catch up now, and nothing he can do to shoot him down. They're going to go into the blue SAM area, and I don't think anything is going to transpire there unless Cadron does something really stupid. So Cadron does do a turnaround. I personally would have liked to go out further before turning around, but I'm a bit of a chicken. But it's worked out for him. So we're going to have an intercept here from... Oh, so Monty's been intercepted by Udarosa, and that was a bad intercept. Monty has radar coverage. His radar really should be wide enough to pick up that Mirage, but he just hasn't got his radar set up quite right. Maybe it's further out than our view. I would have liked to have seen him. He's more interested, I think, in getting involved in this fight. So that allows this flanking Mirage to come in. and that's going to be a super easy kill from Uderosa. I don't think it's going to fall for the mistake as last time. It's not going to leave it too long, and yeah, bang on the money. It's about 3 mile flanking shot. That should be a kill, really. This guy, I don't think is doing enough. Snap pulled at the end there, but I don't think he was doing enough. Not that it was really, he didn't really have a right to dodge it. I mean, that was really aggressive, decent 3 mile shot. Lovely, I mean, he did a lovely tight turn in there again. He had no right to dodge that shot there. That was a lovely shot coming from Warren. Let's just speed that up a little. So it was a hot kind of 5 to 6 mile shot. It was all in the kill parameters. Very hard for that guy to dodge. So there's not much really he can do. Somehow he survived 2 shots. That's pretty amazing, really. So that's just run that through a little bit. Monty should just be concentrating on getting home, which he is doing, which is great. No, he wants to go back into combat. So just to confirm, this guy's been shot twice and he's not going home. Instead, he is flying back in like a madman. So that shows the petulance of youth there. Remember, you've got 10 minutes you have to wait, and you have limited airframes. So if you've got a busted airframe, which he has, don't fight. You're no use. That's my 20. Go home, get fully re-equipped, get repaired, come out, use it properly. Anyway, we've got yet more fighting to analyse. So, same 2 guys fighting each other again. Warren, they're coming back in for a fight. So there's 7 miles. Warren decides to turn back in now. He's in his stamina. For me, that's too close to turn. Again, he doesn't really know where this guy is, so he can't judge it like we can. But if that was me, fly back to your base, then turn back in. This puts Caden on a massive advantage. Look, he's already within the shot parameters, kill shot parameters down here on the deck of AIM 120. AIM 120 out, Warren is dead. Fire it. He's not going to fire it, is he? I get the feeling Cadron is out of AIM 120s or something, because, well, it's just bad flying. It's just going to fly straight into him. No. That AIM 920, that AIM 9 went for that guy. Okay. So Warren's fired at the wrong target. He was looking for heat signatures, and he got those hot burners of Monty there. Hasn't picked up this guy. Now that shows, that was what I was saying, it's an ideal example of why not to turn so quickly. These guys are kind of young guys and they really want to get into the fight straight away. Don't. Go 20 miles, then turn around. There's so much fuel in these birds, it doesn't matter. Then turn around. Then you've got time to set your plane up. Here you had 1 second to set this F-15's radar up to look for these guys. Not enough time. You managed to shoot someone, but it was the wrong guy in the end because you were so rushed you didn't have time to make an executive decision. And then Cadron comes in. He gets for some reason he's carrying AIM 7s anyway, and he should have shot him right back. Oops, he should have shot him right back there, but instead he shot him here. Luckily Warren wasn't fighting back. This was Warren's fight to win in the end because Cadron wasn't firing properly. It does go in and kill him, but it's all a bit stupid by then. You know, those two shouldn't have even been merging. AIM 120C, that's actually an interesting shot. So Warren didn't know about this guy here. He thought that it was him. He did get a 120C out in the end, which is like a 3-mile shot. I mean, that is a kill shot on Monty. Monty shouldn't have been there. As we've discussed, he should have been back home. So it's fair play on Warren in the end. Did it activate? It did get enough time to go pitbull, and there's no dodging, you know, for my aim of 120. Oh, don't tell me he's still alive. That's 3 missiles this guy's just sucked up. And he's still fighting. He's fighting. Okay. Doing that. So there you go. He's dead, yeah, obviously. So lots and lots of mistakes to learn from there. Beautiful thing about having all the time in the world to review it is that you can make mistakes, and then next time is muscle memory. This guy realised, okay, I'm in a fight, I'm in a close fight, I don't want to go 2 miles and turn in, I want to go 20 miles and turn in. And then it's Uderosa's time to go. Uderosa was a little bit better there. He didn't, you know, he went further out. It was only 4 or 5 miles out, still not enough for my liking, but he went further out. That gives him all this time, all the time in the world to look, analyse and make proper decisions, and that allowed him to find the proper threat, which was here, and that's a dead man. Oh good God, he's still going. Is Monty finally dead? Yeah, he dies finally. We've got some Starlidium F-15s going on here. Okay, yeah, that's the end of that, isn't it? Right, that was good fun. Odge is finally shooting things. No, he's not. He's not killed anything. He's just flown around in circles. He's just done that, flown round, flown round, circle, got shot at, and flown home. That's some real interesting flying there. Right. Anything else left to see? It was a real action-packed day this was. Now I'm sure there was some fighting up there. There it is. Some fighting. Ico back in action. Squirrel. The master is, I don't know, for some reason he looks like he's bolted it and gone home. Is that what he does? No, he's getting shot by Sam. He's getting shot by Sam. Okay, you got yourself shot down. So this Sam was a real problem for Blue. For some reason I just didn't see it. I mean, they've got an idea of where it is on their RWR. Why they kept flying into it, that's the second guy, just fly into it and get shot. So, I don't know. I think himself to blame there. Ico is flying through the mountains again. Again, I don't know why he's doing that. Be up here, have your big radar scanning down. You're an air superiority fighter. The Mirage needs to be hiding in the mountains, not you. Why are you doing it? I don't know. And Zoidberg, who's a very good fighter from what we can see, has found him. And this is going to be a one-way fight. I don't think I'm even going to analyse it. It's going to be such an easy fight. 820 knots. Was that true? No. Yeah, I think that's true airspeed. Just going to set it up just to make sure. I always get these wrong. Yeah, that's true. That's true here. Huge shot coming from him. He's up at Angels 13. He's got a lovely shot. I'm not going to bother analysing it. That's unless he misses, and then we will have to go back and analyse it. It is going to miss, isn't it? Yes, it is. So we're going to have to go back and set this fight up. Stand by. Okay. I should say that the Vigan's had a couple of chances to get through here. And the Vigan didn't make it. It was a bit of bad luck, really. It just happened to fly over a place where a Mirage was patrolling, and the Mirage came and shot the Vigan. So it's just how it goes sometimes. Right, massively energy high Zoidberg comes in on a huge dive on a high energy Ico. I don't know what Ico's trying to achieve out there. I guess he knows he's getting hunted now, so he's running away. Very hard. So, first really nice thing to see Zoidberg do is he's given that missile a bit of lead. He's aiming his jet. Look at his vector there, aiming way in front of this guy. That helps his missile because his missile doesn't have to then bend to get in front of the blue guy. If it was a newer player, possibly for me, what you would see is me aiming my jet at that hostile. It's the natural thing to do, is to aim at the hostile and fire, and that means that missile has to do extra work, scrub extra energy off in trying to get in front, which is what the missile has to do. So that was some good play there. Let's follow that through. Now that was a 6-mile shot on a cold target. Your energy high, your average is what, Angels 11-ish. So I would have said that is, if we do that interpolation on a cold target, it's about 5.5, 6 miles if you're lucky. What did you fire at? 6 miles. So it's just within the boundary. Again, slightly at the upper end. So if this guy dodges at all, he'll just be able to dodge this missile. But it's a fair missile, though. We can't really argue against it. It was it wasn't doing anything wrong. Ico's kept his energy high. He's put countermeasures out. He still should be able to dodge this. Okay. That was close. And that missile did some great work. Look how it turned. So Zoidberg, I don't think he was really trying to kill him with that missile, but he was turning him defensive. And Ico, he didn't really have enough other choice. You could really see the missile. He really had to turn. Turn puts him in a world of hurt in this case because, look, the Mirage is then in for the kill at 2 miles. So, some lovely hunting there by Zoidberg. Did everything he needed to do, and then here comes the kill shot. Let's try that again. And here comes the kill shot. Not really much this guy can do to defeat that at that point. So yeah, there's a real masterclass there of how to kill someone when they're running away. If you can get close enough just to get a missile on to scare them enough, they'll have to dodge, which will slow them down. Then you're in for the kill shot. And key was this guy's energy. He was up at 830 knots we saw. That huge dive we saw there. Look at that dive. So he bagged himself potential energy by loitering around at Angels 30. I don't like doing it, but it can be used, as you can see. Converted that into kinetic energy, which is half of mv squared. Is basically the speed of the bird, into that huge kinetic energy, which he used to hunt down the guy. Great work. I think we've seen that fight over there. Blah, 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 blah. We've got an A10 of Taz. Taz is finally, these guys are finally getting their air support to come in to start bombing red units, but the Cap Zoidberg's on it. Taz is shot but couldn't kill him. Another F-86. I don't know why the F-86 is there. It's just there for some reason. It's obviously it's going to get shot down. I won't bother analysing that. Here comes the big push from Thingy, Shifty. No other action going on. Fort Nero goes in, launching some strikes into blue SAM area. There's going to be a shot. There's going to be a kill. I remember this shot. It was a little unlucky from Elo. Oh, there's the reason. Right. I couldn't work out why Elo got shot by these missiles. It was a good kind of 8-mile shot on a low target. It shouldn't really have hit. And Gunzillo turned around. He did his big pull. He did his countermeasures. He did everything he was supposed to do. And I couldn't work out why he got shot in the movie. But now I see it. Energy is too low. It's down at 350 knots. That's pretty fast for an aeroplane, but for dodging a missile, it's no good. He wants 500, 600, 700 knots to be dodging these missiles when turning cold. And so he turned cold, did everything right, but he was just too energy low, and they're going to catch him up now. He's slowly getting energy back into his bird, but it's not enough, it's not fast enough. And he sees he's in a world of pain, starts doing some dodging, but it's down. If he'd have flown... I always say I never like to flow less than 450 knots, and that's on a slow mission in my F-15 when you're in battle, because you need that potential and connected energy to turn into maneuverability and and runaway ability when you need it. If he was coming along here at 500 knots, 600 knots, he could have turned. He could have even done a 9G turn, still kept his energy in a small dive, and then powered out 600 knots, and those missiles wouldn't have had a chance. So another great thing there, don't do half-assed things in your fighter jet. Do everything 100% or 101%, then you survive. Look at that guy, 700 knots. So 100% commitment. He didn't daddle in, he didn't, That shows that's what you've got to do, and the guy putting 100% in will win. Right, we've got to be near to finish soon, because this has taken the entire of the day up, basically, and Fort Nero is now... he got greedy at this point. He knows he's well in the SAM site. Now, look at the difference, though. He's kept his 600 knots. He's done it 100%. Because he's kept his 100 knots, he can outrun these missiles. But enough, and another SA-6 shooting at him. He's got enough energy. He can dodge. He kept energy in the bank. And it's worked out for him. He's managed to run away, dodge missiles, and another thing he's doing that's good is he's draining these SAMs, as we call it. They have a finite amount of missiles, and he's draining them down. Once they're out, oh, look at that! So he's come in, another 100% full commitment shot, another 660 knots, burners on all the way, full power shot. Really wants that kill because he's got that 700 knots. He's got energy that he can dodge this when it shoots, which Elo didn't have. I think he's... Yep, okay, that's fine. Some good job there. So that's how to use your cap fighter in enemy territory. Now, the one bad thing about doing that is you use your gas up. That's okay. Gas can be refueled. Don't worry about your gas. Never worry about your gas. He can go back and regas now. There's no point of dying just to save your gas. And we see that a lot. Which is why I go on about... Oh no, he's not done yet. He's now going into murder. Because these guys... bless them, Kilo Mike and Blasty went out with Harrier. I went onto the red side and I said, guys, you're going to get killed if you don't do some cast work. They switched to Harriers. And they did basically no damage. They took one tank out between two Harriers. This is not Harrier. This is not Harrier job. This is close air support, as I said earlier. This is standoff close air support. Why? Because you've got M2s in there. They know they've got hostile M2s in. They're lethal. Look at that. Well, I can't see the kill range, but M2s are lethal against air. I can tell you that right now. Don't have Harriers, or if you're going to take Harriers, take Mavericks. They took bombs. They thought it was a typical easy Grim Reaper's mission where we're going to go and bomb some chemical dump or something where nothing shoots back. No, this is an active PvP. Don't take bombs and rockets. Will have absolutely no use. For a start, you've got to fly over the target and they will kill you. Standoff, close air support. Scrap the Harriers, bring the A-10, A's or C's, doesn't matter which, out. Loiter them. Right around here, they can happily fire at 6-7 miles in perfect comfort of this SAM range here and just pow, pow, pow. Just take all these guys down. It's all they had to do, and these guys wouldn't have got anywhere. They chose the wrong planes, they chose the wrong weapons, and this guy can't even fire his weapons, so it was just completely useless cast. Yes, go and do cast. Do it right, though. I think Fort Nero did more damage on his RTB run with guns, and all he's doing is going back to get more gas to go and fight. So, Loads of stuff to be learnt there. Squiddle, Ico coming in, and these guys I remember do a great job. All they're here to do is to protect what's his face, Shifty's ground units, because they can see the cast fighters start to be unleashed. So they're going to come in and they're going to shoot. I remember the Reds were telling Kilo Mike here, get out, they've got fighters on the way, get out, they've got fighters on the way, get out. He ignored them, he just flew straight in to drop his bombs, and he paid the penalty rightly. And look how slow he's going to drop those bombs. Everything is doing wrong, basically. Don't know how he dodged that missile there, but he did. But he had no right to dodge it. That should be a dead Harrier. And of course it is. Oh, I see, they're shooting a Fortinero. The Fortinero is manoeuvrability high, but gas low, and probably missiles low. So, okay, he's got lag on the go, he's in Argentina, he gets that. Fortinero should just get out of the show now on RTB. I don't see why Tangle with two fresh SU-27s. These SU-27s are doing great. They're just kind of already pushed all that fight, and these Reds now have had their chance now to do their A-10ing, and they've lost it because now the blue cap's in town. So it's their own fault for bad tactics. And this guy will obviously get shot down. He's just going to fly right to a missile. Of course he is. Bang, straight in the face. Got some bad flying going on there. Look at that. These guys are shooting that SA-6 site. That's pretty cool. Right. Let's scroll forward. Anything happen? Fortinero has his energy high. He's not going to crash. He disconnected. He lost his connection. Fair enough. Can't be helped. Carry on. More incursions for these two lovely cap boys into this area. They're so close to the base now, they don't need to go into the SAM site. They can just pepper them with long-range missiles. All they've got to do, and that keeps these guys completely subdued. Great stuff. I doubt we'll see any kills, because these guys should be, decent enough to dodge missiles that range. Oh, yeah. Yep, look, they get in, they realise they're in danger, they turn round. No need for stupid childish runs in there. Proper play from these two guys, and they're talking to each other, telling each other when they're going in and whatnot, telling each other where the bandits are. In comes Zoidberg. I don't think, even with his skill, he can do much against two heavily loaded, fresh SU-27s. We've got a KH. All that time, these 25s have gone back to base. The rearm takes a while. They're back in. KH missiles now thumping down. They're going to thump down on that SA-6 site. Great work, because it just takes more SAMnet down. Look how much SAMnet's been lost already. These blue SAMnet used to come right out here. Let's see that go in. As events happening, Ico sent a missile out just to scare that F5. It's kept enough radar on it that it can keep going, look, and got a kill. Beautiful work. And the F5 just boom straight into it. In F5, I sympathise, it is hard to know where missiles are with an F5, at least I think so. I struggle. Zoidberg, counter-attack. Can he do any damage? I don't think so, because these guys have got a beautiful chainsaw going. Look at that. One in, one out. One in, one out. Squirtle can come cover and shoot Zoidberg down there. Zoidberg doesn't know that this chainsaw element's coming in. And that's an ET, that's a kill shot. So Zoidberg won't even get a warning. It's right in his face. Won't even see it coming. Pow. Yep, that shows the power. A great fighter, there's Zoidberg. Can't compete with actual real tactics, though, which we've got here. Team tactics. So, you've got an F5 here. I don't think it's going to do much damage, though. Oh, saying that, in he goes. Right. Warren wants some action. He's coming in as F5. Let's just go forward a bit. He's getting a little close to these M2s, look. And I said they're deadly. An A9 shot, 4 miles, completely useless. It won't even get halfway there. Why did he do that? Well, the reason is this doesn't have a particularly engaging radar, so he probably didn't even know how far that guy away was. So from his cockpit, it was probably just worth a shot. And now a proper missile comes in from Ico. Look at that chainsaw. Perfect chainsaw. One guy out, one guy in. And again, perfect team tactics. Lovely to see it in action. It's difficult because you need to constantly talk. You have to constantly talk and be proactive. But when you've got it going, you're invincible. Being invincible is good. Look at that barrage. The boys are back in. They see there's no hostile red cap left in the air. And you got 4 missiles raining down, going to absolutely destroy something. Pow! That SA-6 or whatever it was took it out of action. Great work. They're the best tool on this map, the SU-25s. I think these guys are SU-25s, but never used them. I may be wrong though. Blasty's up in an F5. Is he going to do any damage? I don't think so. It's a Harrier, sorry. I didn't see anything there. And he gets shot down. There's no need to be flying over these tanks, not really. A lovely A10 posted right there, being patient, just tacking them away, sniping. That's what they want. Don't go flying over them. And he's down. I don't think the Harrier is the right job for this at all, anyway. I've said that before. Okay, Udaro, so F5. I thought I saw a missile come out from him. I did see a missile come out from him. No, I didn't. That was a Sam. Scratched Sam. King's in Mirage. He's had a quick shot at this F5, and F5 is a very manoeuvrable plane, so it can be hard to shoot down. Now, King is being a bit childish now. Look, he's charged into a SAMnet. He knows it's there. Why are you being childish, charging into a SAMnet? Be responsible like these two flankers. I think he's going to pay the price. And that is an SA6 or whatever it is, SA8 something. But, yeah. No, wow. He has no right to be alive. He hasn't been dodging. He should be dead. He's just been lucky. And there you go. That was just bad, stupid play. You know, why did he just charge into the base? He could have used his life properly by loitering out here and done a proper job. Okay. We are literally got to be coming to this. Something's hitting these tanks. Ah, I see him. I see him. Where did I see him? I saw him somewhere. Fortunero's back. There he is. He's in a helicopter. Fortunero has to be man at the match at the end because he got in his helicopter. Did not very well in his plane, to be honest, but in his chopper did great work. He just sat there sniping all these units. In the end, it wasn't enough, but he did kill lots of units. We've got an F5, you know, peppering these tanks. An F5 is no use against tanks. Warren's coming out in an A10A. Sorry, too little, too late. You had your chance. Now the Blues are going to have cap cover. Should have been out earlier on, peppering ground units. This guy DeRosa came in, shot these tanks. M1. What's a machine gun going to do against M1? Absolutely nothing. This guy's flying his A10 all wrong. He should be back here sniping. There's no reason to go flying in AAA areas. You're going to get shot. And look, everything's shooting at him. Yeah, he's got shot. That was his own fault. Why is that in there, flying around there? SAM missile's gone up, but no idea who that's for. Not going to worry about it now. Oh no, this is Fortunero shooting the tanks. Look at that power. Great work. He's relocated over here now. And he takes out probably 10 tanks. So he's the only one, really, that's done any damage. If there was another guy doing that damage, they could have taken the entire fleet of tanks down. Look at that. Vickers in, and beautiful. And this is what I was saying. Sit back here and snipe. You'd have to fly over at 500 feet and get shot down. There's no point. We've done plenty of CAS practice missions to know not to do this. So this is why I'm saying it now. Don't do what you're doing. These tanks are shooting this... Oh, they're pretty much on the runway now. Well, no, not quite. Okay, that's the end. It's cut it off short. There's not really much more action to see. What happens, if you haven't seen the main fight, is Shifty's tanks now get onto the runway and destroy all of this, as you'd expect. And that's the end of it. That's the mission over. Hope you've enjoyed that. Loads to learn there. So watch that through once, twice, 3 times and skip to the important engagement areas and learn everything we've learned. We'll rerun this map again in a week or 2 weeks and let's see some improvements. Okay, many thanks.